Remarkable that Israel, the government that takes billions of dollars from us every year, decided to take not two, but three commercials. Now, the government themselves sponsored two commercials at the Super Bowl. Super Bowl commercials, just so you know, $7 million per an ad. Okay. So that means that the Israeli government spent $14 million for a primetime spot.
That means that you paid $14 million for Israel's primetime spot on the Super Bowl. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Candace Owens came back from maternity leave and said that she's still choosing violence. And I'm here for it too, because I thought she would come back and just kind of just relax and sit back and be like, hey, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no drama. You know what I mean? We're friends again or whatever. But I mean, decided to just go full steam ahead. She's even using the names and everything. So it's quite something to see and something that's worth talking about. We do need to get into this. So let's go ahead and get into this. But before we do, guys, on this channel, we do talk about everything. You know, we talk about everything, just everything. All right. So if you like the episodes that I'm making, please go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get into this.
Commercials were basically them saying that there are hostages and they intend to get the hostages and bring the dads home that are being held by Hamas. Now, of course, why would this premiere during a Super Bowl? There's nothing that we as the American people can do about that hostage effort over there. So what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to pull at your heartstrings and make you not ask any questions about what they're doing overseas. And actually, last night, in case you're wondering, while the Super Bowl was on, Netanyahu bombed a refugee camp. But don't ask any questions about that. You need to get to work and feel bad and have your heartstrings pulled to justify every war that's happening overseas, that you're largely probably ignorant of what's happening overseas. And another NGO ran a third ad that...
So before we even get to the third ad, I didn't even notice she brought out Rafah. Wow, she's talking about Rafah. She's talking about big things here. So if you guys don't know, Rafah is a refugee camp. It's near the Egyptian border, the Sinai, and it is being bombed right now. Always the answer is, you know, to get Hamas, except for I've never seen the Hamas that they get. A lot of times they get children. You know, it's a lot going on. There is a lot going on over there. And most Americans who are even listening to me talk about this right now, like, this has nothing to do with me. The only reason why I'm saying that it's good to know what it has to do with it, it actually does have to do with you. You know why? Because your tax dollars are being used to do this, and your tax dollars are better off at home. So I'll suggest looking into people when you're like, you know, going into election season and you're voting for your local candidates and your congressmen and stuff. It's good to ask who's funding them. You know, it just is. You know, where they're getting their money from, because you'll notice that with certain super PACs like AIPAC, your money a lot of times is going to go into wars. Your money's better off at home. Whether you care or not about a Palestinian, that's your business. Your money's still better off at home.
Was pro-Israel. And this time they just told you that you need to tell your reps to send more money. Take a listen.
LifeShifter.com lets you automatically contact your local reps and demand the release of all the hostages now. It's a real app. Not only will it change lives, it will save life. So use the app. Don't use the app. I don't give a Let's bring them home now. LifeShifter.com.
Looking around.
Didn't even know that that was an app that does that. And just so you know, so when you demand them to bring, listen, and I don't know who the hostages are. If there are hostages, you know, that are American, they should be brought back home. But if you're going to demand something like that, you need to know for sure that there's hostages over there, because when you demand it, again, it brings more money over there, just so you know. And that's not me being mean. You know, I've been called every name in the book. I'm being realistic. I don't want my money going to any other country. Be clear. Ukraine, Israel, China, Taiwan. That's a whole nother thing. I don't. Look at us. Our borders are broken. We have no borders. You know, inflation through the roof. But the military-industrial complex continue to get their money. Come on. It has to stop at some point. And so we need to be able to call everybody out.
I'm still pretty sure I live in America, so I am not really sure. This reads to me like Zelensky at the Grammys, Zelensky on Vanity Fair, Zelensky asking to be invited to the Oscars so he could make a speech. It is telling us that, again, we need to care about something overseas. Why would we call our rep to do something that has nothing to do with America. I'm going to call my rep. I'm going to demand that they, close up our borders and do something about that issue. But again, every single time you are going to have any entertainment in America now, you are going to start to see this sort of effort to remind you to feel bad and do something. And that's something that you can do, by the way, is get to work, because it's Monday and somebody somewhere needs your money. Which is quite remarkable.
Obviously, this episode was aired on Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. Now she's right again. And listen, dig this: when BLM was taking knees and doing all that, I didn't have a YouTube channel, but I want you to know that I made every joke in the book about it. I laughed about it. Me and my friends, we laughed about it. Me and my brother, we laughed about it. Everybody taking knees, and the NBA said that they were going to boycott for Jake Blake, the guy who got got one in his back, but really he was at his ex baby mom's house or something. I don't know. Terrorizing that woman, and they call themselves boycotting. I made every joke in the book because this is not what people are opening up the television to watch their sports for, and especially something like this. And let me tell you, in 2024, we're going to keep it real about everything. And this is one of them. We can't afford to help anybody. And they play us. You have Zelensky, like she said, on the going to the Grammys on Vanity Fair, and then you have Netanyahu talking about Amalek, and then that's how they get you with the Bible. Come on, Americans don't have money for this. We don't. Look at our roads, look at our schools, look at our border. And so this is Michael Rapaport, who was on that app thing, and he says, "I found the apartheid, you anti-Israel." And look what he calls people on Twitter. You're so effing stupid. I'm not going to get into how the West Bank is apartheid. I'm not going to get into it because this is not necessarily that episode. But the fact is, like, this is how they talk to you. If you, oh man, it has turned into something else, which I am going to, okay, we're going to try not to get too crazy on this episode because I don't want it taken off of the platform, okay? Because they will take it off the platform. Because I'm about to say some things that are not necessarily good, but they are true. What did Michael say? Look, because Tiberius, whoever this is saying an extremely privileged white guy walking around a colonized land and mocking the colonized, insinuating those without access to basic human rights or self-determination do have these things, is about as disgusting a thing as I've seen on here, except the dead kids, of course. Now, I know how Americans feel when they hear colonized and everything else. I would have to get, just look up Palestine, and you'll get the answers yourself on YouTube. Just look it up. Look up things from before this crisis. But Michael Rapaport says, "I'm Jewish, not white. I'm also self-made and rich." You hear that? I want you to hold on to that "I'm Jewish, not white" thing. This is Michael saying this. It's not me. Ben was asked here about taking flack online for commenting on the browning of America. This is happening. Mass migration is a thing. It is happening across the world. It's a real thing. And so I don't mean to get so deep, and I'm going to start going live again every day so we can start talking about this stuff.
Borders broadly in a minute, something that Michael and I have been talking about, but the demographics, a part of it is that they're trying to change America from a predominantly white nation to a not predominantly white nation. Ben, you've taken a lot of flack online for commenting a couple times over the years that you don't give a damn about the browning of America. What do you mean by that?
I don't care about the race. I care about the ideology. I don't think that they care about the race, by the way. I think they care about the ideology. If they could import 200 million liberals from Sweden, I think that they would do it.
But isn't the point that just it so happens? I'm not saying it's good. I wish we could shift the whole black vote. I wish we could shift the whole Hispanic vote. But we just haven't. It just hasn't happened.
Well, I mean, but I don't see how that's relevant. In other words, the way that the left likes to slander the right is by suggesting that the reason that the right is opposed to mass migration from these countries is because they want fewer brown people. The point that I was making is we don't want mass migration from countries that don't share our values. Right. I don't care whether they're brown, whether they're green, whether they're white. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me.
To stop Ben right there. And I'm a black woman, and I'm going to tell you the truth about it. We have seen footage of people like Joe Biden saying America's going to be minority white, and it's going to be a great thing to see. Okay? When white people hear that, they're not thinking about, well, no, as long as they come with my values, they're thinking like, what the heck does that mean? If it's done purposely to make white people a minority, if I was white, I'd be very defensive about that. So now it's like, it's not even about the ideology, because When Biden said that, he didn't say but the ideology is going to be, he didn't say that. A white person hearing that is not going to feel good about that at all. And Ben says, I don't care about the browning of America, right? Me, I'm feeling myself as a person. I feel like I need to go up to some mountain and just let whatever happen, because because like, my thing is this, it sounds weird to say, but I do care about the browning of America. I'm sorry, because there are they're not bringing the best people over here. Okay. I do care about it because how it sounds. Okay. You can't tell a race of people that you're going to be the minority, and it's exciting. You see, Jake Shields says Ben Shapiro wants Israel to remain racially pure while mixing America as much as possible. So, and then it all goes back to that. This is a very touchy subject, but it's really not supposed to be that touchy. So you hear people saying that we're going to make you the minority. That's going to make the person stand up and be like, what do you mean by that? You know, and then like you have Keith Woods who says it again. Ben Shapiro doubles down on supporting this situation. Race is of no relevance to me. Does he feel this way about Israel? If all that matters is the ideas and not race, why have any loyalty to a Jewish ethno-state in the Middle East? These are the questions that people are asked. Candace Owens came back from maternity leave, and she said she had about enough, and she's just going to come out and say things how they are. And so we'll see if Ben even talks about it. Maybe he gets caught up again in the camera talking trash. Who knows? We'll see. We're here for it. I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.